I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother Mary.
Hi Pisces moon sign people, welcome to your January full moon reading for 2019. The full moon readings are when Great Mother puts a spotlight on the supportive energies, on the available support for you cosmically to heal from mama drama trauma at this particular time. Those of us who are experiencing mama drama trauma, have suffered from it, have survived it, are now living in loving detachment, wherever you are on your yellow brick road journey, these readings are for you. They are for individuals who've had the condition or have the condition of a mother who projects unhealed aspects of herself onto us, causing emotional and or physical trauma. In cases where she's unable, unwilling, or unavailable to heal her own mama drama trauma, because it is a cycle, loving detachment is required in order to live a healthy, happy, and whole life. Because mama's not happy, we're not happy. Mama's not whole, we're not whole. And mama is usually very unhealthy, and we tend to be unhealthy. We talk about emotions here, and so whether you're physically, materially healthy, that kind of comes and goes. I mean, when you're emotionally unhealthy over a long period of time, that's toxicity that does become physically expressed, which is why we also talk about the body, and we talk about how the body is affected by our emotions. Our moon sign is our emotional, intuitive space. It is where Great Mother speaks to us through the Holy Spirit, and we can ascertain and dissect the Morse code of our intuition by looking at our Vedic soul sign. That is the archive. That is the Akashic of all the soul memories that we've had lifetime after lifetime. The soul incarnates to have this experience of mama drama trauma, to evolve from those experiences, from those memories, in self-love and spiritual independence. All souls have to go through it in order to become a guide. All guides are very self-loving, are very spiritually independent. That's how they're able to guide us to the other side of the dark night of the soul. It is a rebirth process. And so in this reading, in this channel of moon signs, we liken the moon, the lunar journey, to Great Mother energies, because that dark night of the soul, the impetus, that new moon when all is dark, is the beginning of that journey, figuratively speaking. And each month we have an opportunity to reseed our healing journey with our new moon wishes in alignment with the energies that support us cosmically. We are made of stardust. We are spirit that has come into form. That's our Vedic moon sign. So for most of you, your Vedic is Aquarius. It's a 24-degree precession, and that Aquarian energy downloads to you information in a way that is it's genius. It's very innovative. It's very inventive. And you don't feel a lot of times like it's something that you can share because it is so out the box. It is so off the chain, but it's so regular for you. It can be very uncomfortable and unsettling for Piscean moon sign people, which is why Great Mother really comes through to you, because you have what we need. You are getting downloads that we need to hear, and so you really need to heal. All of us do. If we're watching this channel, we have made a conscious decision. Really, we've made a choice. There's no need or should involved here, because we know we're divine children of the Great Mother, Father God, who are never judged, condemned, or left alone. That is the principle that we live by as our identity once we release MDT identity of blame, shame, and guilt. It's a grieving process of letting go of MDT, the blame, shame, and guilt, the mother that we want, the fantasy mother, to accept the one that we have. But particularly with Piscean moon sign people, this emotional, this tropical Western moon sign energy is an energy that you're so incarnated with in order for it to integrate lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes of subconscious experiences that need to be brought to the fore. So you were born into a family line, a DNA line, a birth line to bring these things up. And I said all that to tell you that this full moon is a full moon of harvest. Even though we're in the northern hemisphere, the tropical hemisphere of the astrological world, this ancient astrology is on the side of the world where this is the harvest time of the year. And it is emotionally. The ancient side of the world astrologically is lunarly based, such as Vedic astrology. It's based on the moon. It's based on Great Mother energy, internal energy, because everything comes from spirit before it is into form. And so that's the logical wise man perception. Now, the ego astrology, the tropical astrology, is very useful in looking at this physical body. The ego is a divine entity that the soul needs in order to evolve, in order to have experience. Experience is necessary to gain wisdom. I don't care how spiritual of a being we are, we become, that angels, guides, ancestors all have to have experience in order to develop a sense of wisdom. Wisdom is not given, it's earned. Now, knowledge can be given, knowledge can be bought, but you still have to study to integrate it and to really know it. It's a difference between being familiar with something and actually knowing something. But the point is, this harvest season for all of us is an indication of the threshold being crossed into our new eclipse season of Cancer and North Node, Capricorn in the South. This South Node energy of Capricorn has been very active since the technical nodal shift on November 7th. However, the activation of the Cancer North Node in the physical, with all the women being elected to Congress, and we see, women being very active in the award shows and very vocal now more than ever in many aspects in the physical material world. We're seeing the leadership of women really coming forward, the voice of women really coming forward. We haven't seen anything yet. It's on now with this harvest full moon, because the eclipse season has not formally started up until this point, because we still have business to take care of, as indicated by the last super full moon lunar eclipse in Leo. The eclipse that the world stopped to watch August 2007 was a Leo full moon eclipse in the nakshatra of Ashlesha in Cancer in the Vedic astrology. This has been the energy that we as collective soul have been working out, and it is the energy of the wounded child coming forth the last eclipse season with all of its hurts, all of its needs for the world to see, the bleeding heart, the crying child. And we've seen that ad nauseum. Well, now we have shifted into Cancer North Node, where the collective is looking at the mother, the home. Where do we feel at home? Our motherland issues, borders, these types of things. Boundaries with our mothers, boundaries with the mothership, the motherboard. What are we tuning into? What are we believing? What are our values? And for you Pisces moon sign people, you have a lot of shifts going on in that second house. That second house is off the chain right now as Uranus has moved into Aries. It's actually, Uranus has been in Aries in the Western and in Pisces, and so that's why you've been experiencing all these changes. What I'm saying, it has been there with Mars. I was trying to say that Mars has moved. Mars is no longer conjunct Uranus in Pisces, Aries, Pisces in the sidereal, okay, and in the sidereal you're Aquarius. So that's second house energy. Mars has moved into the third house, okay, and so Mars right now has moved on into Taurus. Up to this point, about 6 months, that has meant for you that there have been a lot of changes in terms of what your personal initiatives have been. A lot of shifts, a lot of changes. And these have primarily had to do with 11th house energy for you. Group networks, cliques that you hang out with, family groups, and that sort of thing, work groups, maybe your public image, maybe your own marketing, your promotion of yourself. This is how this has been materialized. Maybe you internally have really focused on shifting how you operate in groups, shifting how you allocate your energy, time, and money resources to groups of people and organizations and that sort of thing. Pisces right now, with this shift and this harvest into Cancer North Node for you, We're talking about an energy that has to do on a soul level because, once again, this is sixth house energy for you. This is having to do with Cancer, with the nakshatra of Ashlesha activated, just like at the beginning of the last eclipse season, which is another clue that this is a very important full moon, crossing the threshold into the new. And so in the same nakshatra is, are you going to deal with your same wounded child issues? Are you going to deal with your wounded child issues in the same way? Or are you going to evolve how you've been dealing with them at this particular time? It's a question that you need to answer based on this full moon reading that Great Mother is telling you, the energies that are supporting you right now and what the focus is for this full moon. The focus for you at this time is Rhiannon, self-doubt. There's a lot of self-doubt that you have around your ability to heal your mama drama trauma. And that is because you are not integrating a lot of that Aquarius intuitive mind that you have, that higher mind, that soul intuition that's telling you all that crazy stuff that you can do, that's telling you all that crazy stuff that you can heal from, that's telling you all that crazy stuff that you're worthy of. You need to trust it. You need to really trust it. Mercury for you is conjunct the sun. Mercury's conjunct the sun for everybody, but for you, it's in your first house in Pisces, Aquarius, Pisces. So you need to use the light of this full moon to shine on your intelligence, your natural intelligence. There's an intelligence that Aquarius bestows upon you, Pisces, that if you don't own it, you're going to have some self-doubt. First quarter moon, it's about making a choice. And so make that choice this full moon as the light shines on your intelligence. It shines on your soul wisdom. It is in Aquarius in the sidereal. The sun is in Aquarius conjunct Mercury. So you got it, ego soul here, alignment, supporting the light that is reflecting on this moon in your 6th, 7th house. 6th, 7th house is all about your daily life. Okay, how are you going to deal with this wounded child energy in your daily life? How are you going to deal with it in your personal, professional relationships, your contracts, these new agreements with these groups, if you are not trusting the intuition that you have? Now, New Moon wishes suggested for you by Great Mother for the Aquarius New Moon was 12th house type of wishes, because for you Aquarius is 12th house. And so, of course, again, it has to do with, offerings that you have, things that you want to give, things that you want to share. Again, being clear based on what you've learned from the last eclipse season. Stepping into the threshold of this new one. How are you going to adjust that and modify that so that it serves your healing and it empowers you instead of taking power away? Now, this is the scene when Dorothy meets Professor Marvel when she runs away from home and he gives her a reading. She made a decision to face the challenge of her self-doubt, running away, whether or not it was the right thing to do, and gave her power away to someone to tell her, no, it wasn't. You need to go back home, in essence, when she didn't. Because remember, Great Mother kicked up the twister. And even though she tried to return back home, she couldn't. Because it wasn't time for her to come back home. She wasn't trusting her intuition. She wasn't trusting Toto, who didn't care for Professor Marvel and was barking trying to get out of there. So Toto symbolizes our intuition. Trust your intuition, Pisces moon sign people, so that you can transform this self-doubt into creating the life that you want of happiness, wholeness, and health. You have it all within you to do that. This is second chakra energy. This is second chakra. Second chakra is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter rules Pisces. This is a very powerful message from Great Mother. And she's encouraging you to work on this spotlight of self-doubt, of transforming it into self-creation between now and the first quarter going into the next lunar cycle. And so that is roughly not quite a month, about 3 weeks. Work with it for about 3 weeks, okay? And especially those of you who did plant the seed of your new moon wish within the first 2 days of the new moon, you made wishes that were Aquarian wishes. associated with the offerings that you want to give to people, associated with how you want to use your isolation and alienation emotions to serve you. Do you want to use it to meditate more as opposed to feeling alone and feeling sorry for yourself? How are you going to use that time and space to get clarity? Okay, to invest in who you are and what you really want. This is just really, really coming through very profoundly right now with Great Mother, because 12th house is the will release. Ideally, it means the end of the tunnel. You've gone through the first all the way through, and right now, this is right in the middle. This full moon for you is 6th, 7th house energy. Usually, the sidereal is just a sign. Anyway, your daily life, just your daily life, that's the most impactful thing in our lives. It's how we get up and how we think, how we interact with people within our environment, immediate environment, at home, friends that we talk to, just our daily life, what we do, how we eat. That is created by our thoughts, by our emotions. And Great Mother is saying right now, you're being driven by self-doubt. For those of you who are releasing self-doubt on that wheel of life, that 12th wheel, and you are emotionally aligned and you are downloading your intuition and you really are at the end of that wheel releasing a lot of things, Great Mother is cautioning you that you are on the right path. Do not revert back into self-doubt when you begin to feel insecure, because healing MDT is a lifelong healing process. It is a lifelong and grieving process. We grieve our mothers for a lifetime. There's no, just like if your mother dies, you always miss her. And grieving is letting go, releasing. We don't release all at once. And so until we're reunited on the other side, we will miss our mothers. And so that's why the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck is such a powerful tool, such a useful tool. And you guys need to get in touch with me at greatmotherspeaks.info and let me know about the classes you want to take to use this deck, because when you have triggers and you have things that are bringing up self-doubt and that sort of thing, these readings and these spreads really get you straight. Just like this one is telling you that what's bringing this up is that you're ready to surrender. You are ready to surrender to this healing process because of this self-doubt. Now, this is heart chakra energy. We're talking chakras, we're talking Vedic astrology. The heart chakra is ruled by Venus, which rules Libra and Taurus. Now, we just said that Mars went into Taurus, but that's the Western. Of course, that would be, Aries in the sidereal. So what we want to look at here is that Libra energy of this moon for you, which is 7th house, which is also in the Western for you with Pisces. But we're seeing that there's like a vibratory, emotional alignment with the soul at this heart chakra that's saying that my relationships, how I need to connect and communicate with people, my siblings, my peers, my neighbors, it needs to change, and I don't know how. So I'm just going to surrender to it. And the reason why we can look at that from a Western perspective with the Libra and the Taurus is because the heart chakra is the crossroads of the ego and the soul. Okay, the soul and the ego. And so that lateral connection with others, with that communication in the 3rd house of Taurus. Okay, now Mars isn't necessarily about communication, but because the sun right now is in your 1st house, shining a light on your mercurial, your intelligence, your communication, your ability. All of this is unique with regard to your moon sign. Okay, and so looking over there at that 3rd house at Mars, we can see what's bringing up this self-doubt is that there's a struggle with you trying to figure things out as opposed to just surrendering to your healing process, surrendering to, in other words, the higher mind, the higher mind. In the shadow, you don't realize that when you don't surrender to it, you're selling yourself out. You're selling yourself out of the health that you're worthy of. You're selling yourself out of the wholeness that you're worthy of. You're selling yourself out of the happiness. And what is happiness? Happiness is just being content. Just being content with your life. You know, wanting for nothing, as they say. You're just good. Just I'm happy. And it's not anything fake about it. I'm good. You know, I have everything that I need. And so on a material level, that's one thing. But on an emotional level, it's another. And so that's why in the shadow position, this is a full moon second chakra card. This is telling you, you do not realize that you are selling yourself out. Pisces, moon sign people. Okay, and so again, we're talking chakras, we're talking about the sidereal astrology, and you're having, you know, some really strong coalescing with the ego soul because you are Aquarius in the sidereal. And Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. And speaking of that, since we are talking about Vedic astrology here, Saturn rules the root chakra, which is your present state of your ego soul alignment. The present state of your ego soul alignment is Pachamama, root chakra energy. And your soul is wanting to just leave the mama drama behind. Just like Dorothy. This is when she ran away from the farm. I'm done. Now, being done in terms of Great Mother Speaks is giving yourself the time and the space that you need to heal. It's not about being mad about mama drama trauma, although that's a real thing. And in my life coaching and in our MDT support groups, we talk about LTBS all the time, and we all suffer from it in the very beginning. It's rage, and it's low tolerance for bullshit. You get to a point where it's just low tolerance. That's rage from holding, repressing things in. So the present state of your ego soul alignment, Aquarius moon sign people, is this Aquarian waning moon phase energy of there's at least a gratitude that you know that you are at that point of letting the situation go. And it looks different for all of us. Some of us actually need to leave. We need to go to another state. We need to live in another place. We need to have very strong physical boundaries in order to create the emotional boundaries necessary to heal. Some of us, the emotional boundaries, we can create them ourselves just by saying, look, depending on the personality of the mother, I need time. It depends on the personality, your personality and the personality of your mother. If your mother is someone that is cool when you say, I don't need to, I need some time, let me get back with you this summer. I just need a spate of time where we just do not communicate. Some mothers are cool with that because they might be struggling and they realize that they need time too, but they're not going to say that to their child. Another situation, another child situation, that just would not be, she'll call even more, and so that's where the coaching comes in. So you can assess those things with me or by learning the deck, see what Great Mother is saying. But what she's saying to you right now is your ego soul alignment. Your soul is grateful that you at least have received, even if you are in some ways still selling yourself out, that you have received the download. It's time for you to shift out of that situation and begin to focus on healing yourself. For those of you who are not selling out and you are truly standing up for yourself, standing up for your values, trusting your intuition, you are beginning to realize that doing that is allowing you to create the life that you want. And this second chakra energy is all about creation. Second chakra energy, Jupiter energy, Guru energy, Sagittarian, Piscean energy, and the sidereal is all about the creation that comes from spirit. Everything is spirit before it comes into form. And so it's that internal space of creation that you're working with, and you're doing it well. What you want is to be very clear about who you're listening to and what you're listening to. You want to be very clear that the guidance that you're receiving is getting you where you want to go at this particular time. Those of you who are not, and this is a confirmation from Great Mother that it is, Don't doubt that, and just to surrender to your higher mind. Okay, this is confirmation that you are getting the guidance that you need. For those of you who are not surrendering and not trusting them, what this means is, again, you do want to create your health, your happiness, your wholeness. And in order for you to do it, you are going to have to leave the situation, lovingly detach. Okay, and loving detachment is accepting what is. You're going to have to begin the grieving process. And the grieving process is letting go of the mother that you want. She's not the mother that you want. You think somehow that just by thinking that she'll be that way, or by completely continuing to beat yourself up, that you're going to fix it. And no, especially with this new eclipse season that we have, you think that the eclipses that we just went through were really something? Don't play with Great Mother with these eclipses, this eclipse season with her in the North Node with you, and she in this seventh house of relationships and contracts and agreements. I don't think you want to do that, especially with everything you have going on in the 11th house where the South Node is. Your whole communication thing with people and groups and work and home. You don't want to do that. Okay, so let's look at the energies that are supporting you. You have Hecate here. Hecate is throat chakra energy in the crescent moon phase. This is energy that says to you that not only is the universe supporting you, but your intuition is so on point that all it needs is for you to own it. Trust it. What's the difference between your intuition and other voices? Other voices that you hear that cause doubt for Pisces, rightfully so, are those voices of hysteric self-doubt. Anything that does not tell you that you are a dearly loved child of the Great Mother, Father, God, who is dearly loved, never judged, condemned, or left alone, is not Great Mother. Ain't Great Father either. That's how you know. Okay? So listen for the good. Listen for the divinity. Listen for the love. Keep listening for that. Keep praying and asking for that in your wishes if you have gotten to a point where this voice is just so overwhelming, because what's bringing the need for this work on self-doubt up is that there's a need to surrender to the intuition. It is a still small voice, Pisces moon sign people, of the Holy Spirit. That's why it's called still small. I'm not on here with bells and whistles. I'm not on here doing a whole bunch of advertising and this and that and the other. No, it's for whoever Great Mother sends. She is in all of us, and there are many sources of her love. We are all variant energies. Your Pachamama card, those are the sea, the trees, the fairies are variant energy of Great Mother, Father, God. Her love is everywhere. What brand do you want? And regrounding yourself through loving detachment, accepting what is, letting go of the fantasy mother, the mother that you want, to accept the one that you have, is all about sacrificing what you think is all the love that you have in the world for a greater love of the mother of all mothers. And in that sacrifice, you are giving up an identity of shame, blame, and guilt to embrace your true identity of divinity, being dearly loved. You're not going to feel dearly loved, divine child of Great Mother, Father, God, is never judged, condemned, or left alone, as long as you're holding on to MDT. That's what I'll be trying to say. Now, this that is supporting you is saying that, just like Dorothy, the witch, who symbolizes the drama mama, let's be clear, is trying to take her shoes, which symbolize our what? Health, happiness, and wholeness. And she says, I will kill Toto, who symbolizes what? Dorothy's intuition. To which Dorothy responds, give me Toto, but take the what? Shoes. Give me my intuition. So you're willing to, and you have the power to surrender and to trust your intuition. It's just a matter of choice. First quarter moon, making a decision to face the challenge. You have the power to do that. But what you don't realize is that you don't have to give up your birthright to do it. Many people think that, especially people in spiritual work and people doing spiritual work and that sort of thing, always assuming that if I'm going to be doing this spiritual work, or if I'm going to be helping people, or if I'm going to be this or that, then I'm not going to make any money, or I'm not going to this, or I'm not going to that. No, we are worthy of having our intuition operating by that, and our birthright too. Our right to be happy, healthy, and whole. We're worthy of both. And that's what the crossroads is about in the dark night of the soul experience. Okay, the dark night of the soul is that birth canal, that rebirth through Great Mother. We do not have to die to be reborn physically. All this focus on physical, that's Great Father energy. And it's important to have Great Father energy. This full moon is very important to put a spotlight on things. It's important to have a physical experience so the soul can put a spotlight on mama drama trauma this lifetime for it to evolve. It's important. Not more important than the dark night, though. Because why did it incarnate? For me to have a dark night experience. You don't get to evolve without purification. Let's just be clear. Everybody has to go through it. We have gods and goddesses on these cards. Ishtar, Ishel, the Mayan goddess, Yemiya, the Yoruba goddess, Rhiannon. We have all of these people going on here. And what did they all do? They all are archetypes, God and goddess archetypes, just like us, who went through their dark night of the soul and took it on the chin and came out just like you can. And just like many of you are. I'm working with some Pisces moon sign people, so I know. This Hecate, throat chakra energy, Mercury rules the throat chakra, okay? And so that's that Gemini energy. That's that Virgo energy of this full moon. It's telling you that you need to plant the seed of accepting your divinity, of accepting that you have a right to live by your intuition and to experience your birthright fully. Okay? So why does your soul want to do this inner work of transforming self-doubt? So you can enjoy your life. This is new moon energy. Again, that impetus, the beginning of the dark night. And so, Dorothy, when she left the farm, she had to cross a bridge. And so it's going from one side of the bridge to the other. Heard that song, Bridge Over Troubled Waters. The pleasure principle is second chakra energy. You have all the second chakra energy. And I know that there have to be a lot of Pisces people watching, because I'm getting this coalescing with ego soul. We're talking chakras, we're talking Vedic astrology, and your Vedic typically would be Aquarius, but some of you are Pisces. Look at the calculator below to confirm. But this Jupiterian energy is expansive, and right now for you, Jupiter is in your 10th house. And so that means that maybe some of your issues around the 10th house having to do with your life purpose, your dharma, maybe even your actual physical material career, your dharma being your life purpose. These are some things that your soul is wanting to reassess, is wanting to reevaluate, is wanting to clarify in terms of your birthright. In terms of being happy with what you're doing, in terms of being healthy, in terms of being whole. This is a journey, okay? The first thing that you try may not be the most happy, whatever. It's all a journey. This is when she first left the farm. She hadn't even gotten to Munchkin Land yet. It's a journey. And so learning to embrace the journey is how your soul wants to do this work. It wants to embrace the law of mystery and divine order. It wants you to just surrender to the process. Just trust it. We know how the story ends. She makes it home. And what is home? Inner peace, inner balance, that health, that happiness, that wholeness, that full experience and embrace of your divinity without question. That's home. We know how it ends. The law of mystery and divine order is also about timing. And so now is the time to trust your soul. It's going to take you on a magic carpet ride, much like Akhenaten's magic carpet ride as the first ruler of the planet to institute the worship of the one God, Ra. Up to that point, worship was polytheistic. People worshipped all kinds of gods. Okay, and to a degree we still do, but for the most part the planet has either a Christ consciousness, a Mohammedan consciousness, a Buddhan consciousness. It's one thing. And speaking of Vedic astrology, it is still polytheistic. That's how ancient it is, okay? And so we look at this because we are all gods, and the gods that are revered, such as Akhenaten, such as Chandra, which is the moon god, in Vedic astrology, because they are so ancient, they're so old. They lived many millions of more lifetimes than we have. And so that experience and that refinement through the dark night and all of that has refined them to be energies that we live off of. That's in our birth chart, that make us up, that give us life. They are the great mothers, the great fathers, but the great mother, the mother of all mothers, is saying that this third quarter moon is about release. Your soul wants to release. It wants to let go. It wants to actively use that Martian energy right now that is in Aries Taurus for you. So you have Martian energy in Aries in the Vedic. Mars rules Aries. And so your soul is wanting to do the work of loving detachment. Okay, get in touch. Contact me on the home page. You scroll all the way down and you just email and tell me what type of MDT support group topic that you want to have. Typically, the group is maybe 3 to 5 people when we have it on Sunday and Monday evenings. Tell me what days work for you. This is the Dharma of my life. So I know how to do this. I know how to release it. I know how to support people in doing that. I've helped dozens of people and supported them in living and loving detachment. Your soul is completely ready. The spotlight right now is on your self-doubt that you are. But by transforming the self-doubt into self-creation, which is what you truly want, by the end of this full moon, as you move into the waning third quarter moon, you will, in the likely outcome, be addressing this fear, be transmuting this fear into empowerment in ways that you haven't before. This is a root chakra first quarter moon card. Remember, the root chakra is ruled by Saturn, your lunar ruler, in Aquarius. In the ancient astrology, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. So it's very likely that this Saturnal energy, which is also in the South Node, your South Node is 11th house energy, is going to deal with those fears about what other people think in terms of the shifts that you're making with regard to how you connect with people, how you communicate with people. Because let's not forget that, speaking of Uranus energy, it's now, in your second house. Okay, so changes with family, changes with your money, your resources in particular, your time resources, your thought, which you are allocating even your time to think about things to, is changing. And the outcome is either that you're going to be very fearful about that, because like I said, don't play with Great Mother, this eclipse season, Pisces, Moon sign people. I'm just the messenger. I'm just the messenger. I know y'all been, really kind of coddled this last year, and by the end of the year, it got really kind of hard. But that extra, December, January, February, 3 months was so that we could just really prepare for what's coming this Cancer, Capricorn lunar season. The fears possibly for others of you could have to do with whether or not you are really, again, downloading the truth about what your Aquarius moon sign is saying at any particular time, whether or not you can trust it. And Great Mother's coming through, and she's saying, just like Dorothy singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow did truly connect her with her mother without her even really realizing that it was. It did. It did. It did. Right after Aunt Em shooed her away when she was trying to tell her Miss Gulch was trying to take my dog. Miss Gulch is the Wicked Witch of the West in Munchkinland, the Wicked Witch of the East, later on in the castle. Wicked Witch of the that she killed in the East in Munchkin Land with the house. She just kept reincarnating, and that's what's happening with you. The MDT just keeps reincarnating in your daily life, your relationships, your home with your family, your kids. It just keeps the guilt, shame, and blame and guilt. And you're going to be scared to trust your intuition that's ready to lead you out and reground you and reroute you in a new life with this Uranus here in your second house. New values. Spirit creates the material. Or you are transmuting fear into empowerment by the end of this lunar cycle, which is when Great Mother will meet you again for the new moon in your moon sign of Pisces. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking. But above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother Mary.